biggest wins and what players have to say about their performances, this is your destination. So grab your snack and settle in. We begin with India's performance at the Paralympics in Paris, where our para-athletes have already reached where India hasn't gone before. A record of 24 medals. 4 of them were added on Wednesday. It's also taken our tally to 5 gold medals overall, with 2 of them coming last evening. Harvinder Singh became the first Indian archer to strike gold at the Paralympics. The 33-year-old who became the first Indian to win an archery medal at the Games with a bronze 3 years ago in Tokyo bettered the color of his medal in a superlative performance of 5 consecutive wins. He defeated Poland's Lukasz Syzek 6-0 in a one-sided final to script history for himself and the country. The Haryana archer, he has an impairment in his legs owing to a dengue treatment that adversely affected him when he was just a toddler, but that didn't stop him from getting right to the top of the sport, and now he has won a gold medal. That's Harvinder Singh for you. Then we move on to Dharamveer Singh. He shattered the Asian record to win the gold medal in men's club throw F51 event at the Paralympics. After 4 fouled attempts, the 35-year-old World Championship bronze medalist from Sonipat hurled the club to a distance of 34.92 meters in his 5th attempt to claim the top spot on the podium on Wednesday. Dharamveer, he faced a life-altering accident when a misjudged dive into a canal left him paralyzed from the waist down. Parasports gave him a new direction in life when he was introduced to it by fellow para-athlete Amit Kumar Saroha. India also bagged men's club throw F51 silver as Pranav Surma finished second behind Dharamveer. Pranav injured his spinal cord at the age of 16 when a cement sheet fell on his head, but he produced a throw of 34.59 meters in his first attempt. The 29-year-old from Faridabad couldn't better that and could not get past Dharamveer as India completed a 1-2. The F51 club throw event is for athletes who have movement affected to a high degree in the trunk, legs and hands. All the competitors compete while seated and rely on their shoulders and arms to generate power. World champion shot putter Sachin Sarjerao Khilari, he was the first to win a medal for India on Wednesday. He smashed the Asian record en route to win a silver in men's F46 category. The 34-year-old pulled off a throw of 16.32 meters in his second attempt to better his own Asian record of 16.30 meters, which was set in May while winning gold in the World Para-Athletics Championships in Japan. Now, in our series of exclusive interviews with some brilliant cricketers, today we have Robin Uthappa, former India wicketkeeper batter who is one of my favorite players. Robin is a T20 World Cup winner. He won the World Cup in 2007. He played a big role in KKR's title-winning campaign in 2014. He was the leading run scorer for them in that tournament. He was also successful with CSK before he retired from Indian and international cricket in 2022. Off the field, he's been a mental health activist of sorts. He's spoken openly about his own struggles with depression in the hope that there are more conversations around athlete mental health. He spoke to my colleague Nishit Malhotra, who began by asking him about the popularity of T20 cricket, whether it's completely tilted in the favor of batters. This is what he said.
मुझे नहीं लगता कि सिर्फ बैटर्स का गेम है. आप अगर आप वर्ल्ड कप देखोगे तो अभी जो ख़त्म हुआ है वहाँ पे इट वाज प्रीटी मच अ बॉलर्स गेम इन द फर्स्ट हाफ. उसके बाद इवन इन द सेकंड हाफ इट वाज़न्ट अ हाई स्कोरिंग वर्ल्ड कप इन दैट सेंस. पर अगर आप कंपेयर करोगे आईपीएल से, आईपीएल सर्टनली इज़ मोर बैटर फ्रेंडली, क्योंकि विकेट्स जो हैं समर में खेलते हैं तो विकेट जो हैं ज़्यादा बॉलर्स को सपोर्ट नहीं करता. और दूसरी बात यह है कि हमारे ग्राउंड भी छोटे हैं. सब कॉन्टिनेंट में बहुत सारे रन बनते हैं, तो वी नो इट्स अ बैटिंग फ्रेंडली कंडीशन, तो you know that those are the reasons why it becomes even more बैटिंग फ्रेंडली. पर उसको छोड़ के उसके अलावा आप अगर देखोगे तो यू विल सी दैट इन दी IPL देयर इज दैट इम्पैक्ट प्लेयर रूल वेयर इट नेगेट्स takes away the all-rounders role completely, and an extra batter plays. So the batting team goes in with a lot more freedom to play a lot more aggressively. लोग बहुत resonate और easily ज़्यादा resonate करते हैं फोर्स और सिक्सेस के साथ. तो चाहे कोई भी बैटर हो जो बाउंड्रीज और सिक्सेस मारते हैं तो उसके लिए चेयर होता है. और मुझे लगता है कि जसप्रीत बुमराह को आज उतना ही encouragement और सपोर्ट मिलती है जितना कि शायद विराट कोहली को अभी.
Now, there are two types of professional franchisee-based cricket. There are tournaments like IPL for active players, and then there is the World Championship of Legends. How does he look at these competitions? This is what he said.
If you look at it from a very different point of view, which I'm going to put out right now. देखिए, जब आप एक एथलीट क्रिकेट खेलता है तो in a lot of ways that becomes his definition of who he is as a human being. And to pursue a career in cricket, you got to start very early in life. You got to start at the age of 8 to 10 for you to even hopefully become a successful cricketer. And with that, when you do stop playing cricket, or when you choose to finish playing cricket, the drop from where you are, even from say a financial perspective, your earning capacity perspective, drops drastically. So if you look at it from that point of view, then it actually these kind of tournaments play a big role in navigating through that space in a much more maybe comfortable manner, more than comfortable, a much more balanced manner, because even from a attention point of view, when you retire, the tension completely drops. It's a big drop, and a lot of people who aren't prepared for it, who aren't prepared for the next stage of their careers or next stage of their lives, it can be like a massive drop, can impact their mental health as well. So these kind of tournaments add a lot of value to finding that ebb and flow down to figuring out the next part of your life.
Robin was also asked about how he thinks, he looks at this transition in cricket from test matches to ODIs and then the domination of T20s. This is what he said.
Well, I think it's the evolution of the sport, and I think evolution you can't escape in any walk of life, and I think evolution is a part of every part of life, and it's just something that you got to take in your stride, and the evolutions happen. It's moved pretty quickly, and I think the game will continue to evolve over a period of time. I think retired leagues like this should be 15 overs because you have to watch the fitness of a lot of other cricketers as well. So I think we'll see, maybe just 15 over cricket coming up just for retired players. That will be allocated for them. T10 can be the fastest version of the game that can be allocated for introducing cricket as a sport to newer nations and to bring them into the fold. T20 can be the standard of international cricket. Then you have one-day cricket. I don't know where that'll fall in the segue of things. And then Test cricket. I think Test cricket and T20 cricket are here to stay. I think one-day cricket is in a transitional phase at this point in time.
Today we see cricket moving away from the conventional basics like playing with a straight bat, playing the ball on its merit. That's not happening. It's the 360-degree players like Suryakumar Yadav. They are the new superstars. So how does he see this change in approach?
Not necessarily. मैं नहीं कहूँगा कि T20 cricket is giving people the agency to just do whatever they feel like doing. I do think that as youngsters come through the ranks, they also watch different sport and they resonate with different sports. So when they do resonate with different sport, they like to bring that into the fold of where they are playing at. So you will see a little bit of showboating, and that's fine. I think we as humans evolve, and I think if you don't evolve with the times, you will be left behind. I remember when T20 first came into play. How they were talking about how this is not cricket and this is not cricket. And even now, today, you speak to people who grew up watching Test cricket and then maybe one-day cricket. They don't call T20 cricket. It's like, that is not cricket. That is just a money-making scheme. but it isn't. It is the evolution of the game, and if you can't get on board, then you will get left behind, and that's something that I feel that even as I grow older and I see newer versions of the game, in my head I have to adapt and say, okay, this is a newer version. Because if you look at the world and look at society in general, you'll see that attention spans are shortening. We're on the phone a lot more, looking for things are much shorter. Everything is getting short. At one point, there were Hong Kong cricket sixes that 6-over cricket, and that was at one point in there as well. I wouldn't be surprised if that comes back in as a purely entertainment thing for people who want to watch cricket and just 4s and 6s. So I think you've got to get on board, and showboating is fine, all within the line of I would say being respectful.
During that conversation, Robin Uthappa also shared how India versus Australia, this rivalry grew and became one of the biggest in world cricket when he was playing. Listen in.
मुझे तो बहुत सबसे ज़्यादा मज़ा आया हमारे इंडिया ऑस्ट्रेलिया की राइवलरी जो थी ना, जो 2006 से वो 2000 अभी तक जो है, वो राइवलरी जब फॉर्म हो रहा था, बहुत कुछ हुआ था उस राइवलरी को फॉर्म होने में. तो आई वॉज इन द मिडल ऑफ ऑल ऑफ दैट. फॉर मी दैट राइवलरी हैज़ ऑलवेज बीन द बेस्ट. जब भी मैं ऑस्ट्रेलिया के खिलाफ खेलता हूँ तो उस बेस से खेलता हूँ, तो बहुत मज़ेदार बेस है. आप अगर देखोगे तो वो मंकी गेट का इशू ले लो. उसके बाद हमने उनको T20 वर्ल्ड कप सेमीफाइनल में हराया उनको, उधर उनके घर जाके उनको हराया वहाँ पे. वो लोग जैसे हमको ट्रीट करते हैं हम जब वहाँ पे जाते हैं एज अ टीम, कोई हेल्प नहीं होती. पर वो लोग जब हमारे यहाँ आते हैं उनको कुछ नहीं करना पड़ता, पर वो जानबूझ के कोई भी हेल्प हमको देते नहीं है जब हम वहाँ पे जाते हैं. तो लॉट ऑफ दोस थिंग्स ऐड टू the rival. We actually go at each other quite hard. But having said that, after the game, it's all in the game. That just happens during the course of a game.
Pole vaulter Mondo Duplantis is a champion again. Yes, it's difficult to beat him. He outsprinted 400-meter hurdler Carsten Warholm in the hotly anticipated 100 meters exhibition race in Zurich on Wednesday, which brought the two world record holders together in a neutral event. Duplantis was quickest off the blocks and finished with a very respectable time of 10.37 seconds, with Warholm trailing all the way and posting 10.47 seconds. The idea for the race came after some friendly banter between the pair in training last year, and when the sprint was finally scheduled after the Paris Olympics were out of the way, it captured the imagination of athletics fans worldwide. The pair entered the track like boxers coming into the ring, with Duplantis in a blue satin gown and Warholm in the red gown, and there had been plenty of fighting talk, plenty of light-hearted trash talk that was used in the build-up between the friends. They shook hands before shedding their robes, making their way to the starting blocks, and it was Duplantis who got away fastest, with Warholm unable to catch the Swede. For a change from when Duplantis competes in his own event, the world record of 9.58 set by Usain Bolt in 2009 was never under threat, but they did both run faster than the women's record of 10.49 seconds set by Florence Griffith-Joyner in 1988. Duplantis has broken the pole vault record 10 times to date, including at Paris last month when he retained his Olympic title and set his latest record 10 days ago with a vault of 6.26. at the Silesian Diamond League. Warholm, he won silver in Paris, having won Olympic gold in Tokyo in 2021, where he also broke his own world record with a time of 45.94 seconds, which still stands. The pair will be back in action at the same venue in their traditional disciplines today in the World Class in Diamond League. Warholm was presented with a Swedish shirt after his loss, which he's expected to wear in the race. Football fans around the world thought this would never happen, but here we are. For the first time in centuries, Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi do not figure in the nominations for the men's Ballon d'Or. Okay, not centuries, but since 2003. The 30-member list was announced yesterday. It's for the first time in 2 decades that neither Cristiano Ronaldo nor Lionel Messi have been included in the nominees. One of the 2 football legends had figured among the Ballon d'Or nominees from 2003, to 2023. Ronaldo, who's won the award 5 times, also failed to receive a nomination last year, while Messi, who won for a record 8th Ballon d'Or in 2023, has been nominated 16 times. The Argentine captain, however, misses out this time despite Argentina's Copa America win this year. Spain, winners of Euro 2024, have 6 players nominated, including 17-year-old Barcelona winger Lamine Yamal, along with Nico Williams, Alejandro Grimaldo, Dani Olmo, Rodri and Dani Carvajal, who also won the Champions League with Real Madrid. Real have a total of 7 players nominations, which include Kylian Mbappe, who recently signed from Paris Saint-Germain, with Jude Bellingham and Brazil's Vinicius Jr. among the Spanish club's other nominees. England, runners-up to Spain at Euro 2024, have 5 other nominees apart from Bellingham: Harry Kane, Bukayo Saka, Declan Rice, Cole Palmer and Phil Foden. In the women's Ballon d'Or, Champions League winner Barcelona have 6 nominees in total, including last year's winner Aitana Bonmati and 2-time winner Alexia Putellas. The 2024 Ballon d'Or award ceremony to crown the world's best player will take place on 28th of October in Paris. Euro 2024 champions Spain's build-up to Thursday's Nations League opener away to Serbia was overshadowed by the ongoing debate regarding racism in La Liga. Vinicius Jr., in a recent interview with CNN, said Spain should be stripped of its right to co-host the 2030 World Cup with Portugal and Morocco if it fails to make progress tackling racism. Spain's head coach, Luis de la Fuente, he has responded to the comments made by the Brazilian superstar ahead of their game against Serbia. He said Spain is not racist. His comments were then backed up by Vinicius's Real Madrid teammate, Dani Carvajal, who argued a pernicious minority of racist football fans should not besmirch the reputation of an entire nation. Vinicius has been the target of frequent racist abuse from opposition fans since signing for Le Blancos from Flamengo in 2018. 3 Valencia fans were jailed in June this year after racially abusing Vinicius during a May 2023 match at the Mestalla.
Spain is not racist. Spain is an example of coexistence, of respect and of integration. An example many people should look to, a clear example. Of course, there's always going to be a few undesirables. Where we can improve is trying to eradicating them. But I insist, Spain is not racist. It's an example many other countries should look to. It's the complete opposite. I think Spain, Morocco and Portugal is going to be a unique event. Everything Spain organizes is involved in. I am sure it will be successful. Regarding
Okay, on to US Open now. American Jessica Pegula knocked world number 1 Iga Swiatek out of the US Open 6-2, 6-4 to reach her first Grand Slam semi-final. Swiatek, who withdrew from last month's Canadian Open citing fatigue, appeared out of sorts from the start as she struggled with her serve and helped her opponent with 41 unforced errors. The pole had not been broken since the first round of the tournament, but dropped serve with a double fault in the opening game and again in the third. Pegula looked in cruise control in the second set as she broke Swiatek again in the third game, but the 2022 champion showed signs of life as she broke back with a forehand winner in the fourth. Pegula would not let her opponent take the momentum, however, keeping up the pressure, but needed encouragement of the home crowd to get her over the line in the final game as Swiatek produced a pair of wine winners to stay in. The American was finally able to celebrate when Swiatek sent a shot out on match point. Unseeded Czech Karolina Muchova in her only 6th tournament back after suffering a wrist injury at the 2023 US Open beat Brazil's Beatriz Haddad-Maia 6-1, 6-4 on Wednesday to reach the semi-final for a second consecutive year. Muchova, who returned to action in June, needed medical treatment on multiple occasions during the second set but held on to dispatch the Brazilian in 85 minutes. Haddad Maia, the first Brazilian woman to make the US Open quarterfinals since Maria Bueno in 1968, also required medical attention late in the match when she appeared to be having difficulty breathing. Muchova, who was not dropped a set at this year's final Grand Slam, will next face Jessica Pegula, who knocked out top seed Iga Swiatek. On to men's singles now. Top seed Yannick Sinner broke through Daniil Medvedev's defenses to win 6-2, 1-6, 6-1, 6-4 in a seesawing US Open quarterfinal on Wednesday. Sinner beat Medvedev in this year's Australian Open final and left the Russian disappointed at a Grand Slam again in New York, closing out the match at Arthur Ashe Stadium with a forehand winner. Medvedev, the 2021 champion, had defeated the Italian in the Wimbledon quarterfinals but could not crack the court this time. He did not help his own cause with 57 unforced errors. And out of sorts, Medvedev put up more than double the number of unforced errors his opponent had in the first set, with Sinner dropping only one of his first serve points and looking ready to cruise to the semis. The Russian came back hard in the second set, however, going up a break in the second game and winning a 24-shot rally to convert on another breakpoint chance in the fourth. The momentum whipped back to Sinner in the next set as the Italian won the first 5 games straight to dominate the game. Close fourth set turned in the world number one's favor when Medvedev handed him a break with an unforced forehand error in the 7th game. The Russian, though, saved 1 match point to hold serve in the 9th game. However, Sinner did not have to wait long for his victory, wrapping up the match in the next game. The Italians' win means there will be a new US Open champion on the men's side, as Medvedev was the only former winner to reach the quarterfinals in a tournament full of surprises with early exits by top contenders. Sinner will next play Jack Draper for a place in the final. And Britain's Jack Draper beat 10 seed Alex de Minaur to reach his first Grand Slam semis. With that, we've come to the end of this show. Hope you enjoyed it. Goodbye. Thanks for watching.
The Supreme Court has questioned the bulldozing of homes and properties of persons accused of crimes as an act of public retribution. The Apex Court has also proposed framing guidelines for states across the country. With the Supreme Court coming down heavily on these extrajudicial demolitions, let's look at what bulldozer justice is. What is bulldozer justice and why does Supreme Court want guidelines against it? News 9 Plus decodes. The practice of demolition of illegal properties of individuals accused of crime has come to be known as bulldozer justice. It began with Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath leading the way to demolish the illegal constructions of several accused in criminal cases when he first came to power in 2017. Soon, this brand of justice was emulated by several other chief ministers. Which other states have implemented bulldozer justice? The trend was soon adopted by former Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan. He used it to his benefit to endorse justice in run-up to assembly elections in 2023. The government knocked down 16 houses and 29 structures in the state. Soon after he was elected, Chauhan's successor